All right, now we're gonna start our corrections. So we're gonna have Rick start with his left side down, and we're gonna correct that left high hip. So you have them set up with their arm under their head so that their neck can be relaxed. If that hurts the neck or shoulder, you just throw a pillow under there so that they can relax the spine. And then he's going to stack his legs for me, and then he's going to keep them nice and relaxed. Now this part can be really hard for people. You have to work with them so that they can really let their legs be relaxed. Nice deep breath, and he's supported with his arm here, which is lovely. I like that. And I like to stabilize the hip. And I tell people to let their breath be really full and relaxed in and out the belly. And we just begin that stabilizing and that relaxing of the nervous system. So let your legs stay relaxed. I'm gonna scoop under and I'm gonna pull them up. And so it depends on your body and their body. You're gonna work with your ergonomics to figure out what works for you. But I am gonna pull his legs up into this position. So he's at about a 90, maybe just below. And then I'm gonna get him from underneath the middle, a little closer to the ankle, but not obviously on any joints. So I'm coming underneath here, and then he's gonna keep that nice and relaxed, keeping his breathing full, and I'm gonna elevate that. And then he's all floppy and relaxed here, which is beautiful. That's what you want. And then we're gonna take a deep breath in. As you exhale, gently press down into my hand. So he's pressing his lower legs and feet towards the earth, towards the table. He's resisting me gently. If people really want to power you, you just ask them, okay, a little less pressure, or 5%, or match my pressure. Good. Big belly breath in. Exhale, relax the legs. Good. And so then you pull a little closer so they're coming up. We're getting more mobility. Now, I could pull him further. This is not about his strength, my strength. This is about feather edges. So we're finding, where does it begin to have the slightest amount of resistance? That's where we start. And then big breath, exhale, press. Good. So we always press on an exhale, and we always relax on an exhale. We always have a full inhale and exhale, relaxing in between each repetition of pressing. Big deep breath in and exhale, relax. Good. And so you see, we're getting slight gains here. You always want to make sure there's no pain in the knees. None of these corrections should produce pain. Sometimes there's discomfort or effort, but there should never be like, ow. If there is, come off of it. Either ease back or try a different move. And go ahead and press down. Beautiful. Good. So I usually do about 3 to 4 repetitions, whatever is called for. Your first press is about 8 to 10 seconds. Subsequent presses are about 13 seconds. Or I'll say 1 full breath the first time, and maybe 2 to 3 on the second, unless they're a very fast, slow breather, and then maybe 5. So big breath and relax. Awesome. And then relaxing breath in and out. So I know he'll communicate with me if there's pain or discomfort, and he's done a lot of this work, but it is imperative when you're starting, or obviously with a patient one-on-one, you want to be checking in, making sure, is this painful, is that comfortable, are you all right? Obviously not to an annoying amount, but keep those lines of communication open, because you want to make sure you're doing it correctly and we're not hurting their body, we're helping it. So now we're gonna do the other style of correction for that high hip. So I'm gonna have him turn onto his other side. And I think we'll actually shift where the camera is. I'm just gonna keep you guys on because that makes sense right now. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. Awesome. So we're still correcting the standing hip, which was his left side. So he He's laying on his right side now. Now, you don't typically need to do both corrections. You can if you feel like one isn't working or they just have a really pronounced QL elevation here. But this is actually my favorite way, is with the high hip on the top. But oftentimes starting with the other way is more subtle, so it can be really effective too. So he's gonna scoot his knees up a little bit further for me, good. And then he's gonna straighten this top leg and bring it back towards me. Sweet. So from here, sometimes people roll forward or back. You're gonna stabilize them with your arms. So I'm gonna lace my fingers, and then I'm gonna scoop into his hip and pull down, and I'm gonna use my elbows and forearms to stabilize his hip. So if people are rolling one way or the other, this is really nice to keep them where in the plane of movement you need them to be. Also, having their arm in front of them like his is can stabilize, or it can even come here if they feel wonky. I have some people that actually grab the side of the table because we're pulling down on the hip, so it can help them feel stable. A lot of the time that isn't really necessary, but it's okay. And again, these are just notes for you. You're noticing the psychology, you're noticing what other parts of the body engage as you release one part. So we're gonna lace in, we're gonna scoop down. He's keeping his breathing nice and relaxed. And I'm just giving a little traction here. This usually feels amazing to people. And another relaxing breath. And then I'm doing that stabilization with my elbow and forearm. Then nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to hip hike towards your armpit. So he's gonna slide that hip up, he's hiking it up, and then he's gonna elevate that leg, press right up into me, good. And so you're using your body, your arm, your armpit to press down into him. His foot is flexed, and then I want you to turn your toes down a little bit, good, awesome. Big deep breath. Exhale, relax it, awesome, good. And then relaxing breath here. So, I know you guys can only see part of this. The hip hike is really, really imperative, and then you'll notice what their foot does and adjust them from there. So again, nice deep breath in and out, good. Big breath into the belly, and then hip hike to the armpit, good. Elevate that leg straight up towards the ceiling, beautiful, yes. And so you want them to press in, you want this activation, glute, hip, everything engaged. And this is active for them too. So you have traction the whole time. If you have to adjust your grip, you do it, relax on this exhale. You do it then, you do it in between. So if you have to interlace again and scoop down, you can, and then pull that hip, beautiful. Doing okay? Good. And one more, deep inhale. Exhale, hip hike towards the armpit, leg up towards the sky, beautiful. And once people know where they need to turn their foot, usually they'll make those corrections on their own, like he's doing really well. And big breath in, and relax, good. And then I tug again, releasing that hip even deeper. And so my body dynamics, I'm really in almost like a warrior pose right now. So I'm deep and squatted, and I can use my body weight, and my base is supported. So this is important because you're doing a lot of funky moves with your body too. So while they're here, I love to work that QL. It's intense. Sometimes you can also feel into iliopsoas here, but this is just a beautiful spot to see, oh, is there any trigger point left in that QL? Like he's a little bit tight up by the rib cage. And so if you use a massage tool, massage gun, this is a wonderful time for that, having them here. And I like to utilize that tool with the legs straight and bent. So oftentimes I will get into the QL, I will get into the glutes and piriformis and TFL while they are lying like this. It's a really, really nice access point. So go ahead and stack your legs for me again. Sweet. Also a nice side lying position that you can access shoulder and neck stuff side lying. So really nice pec releases are available here. We don't have to do a ton of that on him today. And I was just showing you our elevated hip correction.